What if I told you that the life you dream of is not just a fantasy? What if the key to freedom, peace, and real success lies quietly within your grasp? Imagine waking up every morning, not to alarms screaming deadlines, but to a calm that radiates from the core of your being. The world is loud, chaotic, and exhausting. But you built a life that doesn't exhaust you. Pause, breathe, feel the weight of those words. A life that doesn't exhaust you. It's not about escaping work, it's about mastering it, bending it to your will, so that every move you make is charged with energy, purpose, and clarity. This story starts long before the sunrise, in the depths of silence when the world is asleep, and your mind is wide awake. Picture the scene, a young version of you, tired, worn out, weighed down by expectations, not just from others but from yourself. The endless hustle felt like chains around every limb. You pushed through exhaustion, believing sleep was a luxury, health a side note, and rest a weakness. Every day blurred into the next, with the same tired footsteps. But then something shifted. Not a sudden explosion, but a slow seismic shift within. You realized that the battle was not out there, but inside. Not against circumstances, but against the exhaustion you had accepted as normal. You began to question everything. Why am I running so hard? Who am I running for? What if this race is not the path but the trap? Pause. Let that question sink in. The silence around you grows louder as your mind begins to challenge the noise of the world. This is where the emotional conflict tastes bitter. Because the truth is, breaking free from exhaustion means breaking free from who you thought you were. The late nights, the endless meetings, the grinding deadlines, they became a mask for a deeper fear. The fear of being still, the fear of confronting the void, the fear that without constant movement you might lose yourself. Remember the times you thought rest was weakness. The times you skipped meals, ignored your body's cries for help, convinced yourself you could push through pain. That was the prison you built for yourself. Now imagine unlocking the door to that prison. The air tastes sweeter, the light comes through in sharper beams. You begin to breathe differently. Slowly, deliberately, you start reclaiming your time. But how? This is the breakthrough moment. You begin to understand that the life you want doesn't demand more hours, but more presence. More quality, not quantity. You choose what deserves your energy. You learn to say no, not because you don't care, but because you care deeply about your own value. Feel the power here. You are no longer a slave to exhaustion, but a master of your energy. The slow walks outside become a meditation. The quiet breakfasts turn into a ritual of gratitude. The moments alone are not loneliness, but sanctuaries. Curiosity beckons you forward. What if true success is found in the spaces between the noise? What if the secret is simple, moving slow, thinking deep, living clear? The emotional pivot hits. Doubts creep in, but instead of fighting them, you face them. You gently observe the voices that say, "You're not doing enough," and you respond, "I am doing exactly what I need." This narrative arc bends toward self-reflection. You journal your journey, not to impress others, but to understand yourself. You track your energy, your moods, your wins and losses. This is your blueprint, unique, personal, powerful. Every step forward is a quiet rebellion against a world that glorifies burnout. You find strength in discipline, not frenzy. You build habits that feed your soul, not drain it. The mornings you used to dread now become your sanctuary. The fatigue that once haunted you turns into fuel for intentional living. And then comes the twist, the realization that the life that doesn't exhaust you is not a finish line, but a lifelong journey. It is a constant dance between effort and ease, between pushing and resting, between ambition and peace. Hold that thought. This is your new horizon, because the greatest power you possess is not in how much you do, but in how well you live. Not in the noise of achievement, but in the silence of fulfillment. This is your call to action. Own your time. Master your energy. Build a life that fuels you instead of drains you. Be the architect of your peace, the warrior of your calm. The world will always demand your attention, your sweat, your hustle. But you decide what you give, and you decide how you feel. This life, this moment is yours. Finish strong. You built a life that doesn't exhaust you. Now show the world your power.